What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game of the Week show, episode number 4. I am your host, Matt Southwell, and on my right is the ever-present Dan Gilbert.
Hey everyone.
You well?
Yeah, not too bad. Football this morning, although didn't get the dress code memo.
No, sorry about that. Well, I'm wearing mine because Holland are playing tonight, and hopefully they can get through to the semi-finals. What's your excuse, Ash?
Golf.
Golf.
Straight here, so...
You're going to wear that hat as well, are you?
Yeah. Bad hair day, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well...
Speaking of hair, where's your one?
Yeah,
I think we should have a moment of silence for the loss of Matt's hair.
Too much stress at work.
You know, just seen previous videos.
Just falling out. But no, you're recovered from last week, are you?
Yeah.
No, that's good. Well,
Remember to make it this time.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so those of you out there that are not aware of what the Game of the Week show is, it's 3 friends sitting around this table every Monday to discuss the latest news that's happened in the video game industry. We'll then close out our show with our featured Game of the Week. Okay, so let's get straight on with the news, and I think this week, to make up for last week's episode, we're going to hand the show fully over to Ash to run it. No?
No.
Okay. Okay, fine. So let's get on with the news. Number 1, and Murder Soul Suspect studio Airtight Games has unfortunately closed its door. They tweeted this week thanking all their staff for their hard work. And just going back to last week, Dan, this is just another studio that's seemed to have closed its doors.
It is, yeah. I mean, it comes in the same week where Crytek UK is apparently closed up as well. So not exactly looking like good times at the moment, is it?
No, I think it's just getting more and more difficult for these studios to have any sort of commercial success now. It's, you have one game, this game Murder Soul Suspect came out, wasn't received overly well, Ash. I mean,
there is just such a competitive market now. It's that there is just so much competition. You've got to be top of your game.
Yeah.
You've got to have, if you don't quite get it,
if
you don't quite get it right, then you might as well not bother.
That's it. It's looking like if that game you're banking on being a success flops in any way, the studios.
It's a shame,
screwed.
You don't want to see anyone losing their job. I mean, they let 14 people go back in April, so maybe the writing was starting to be on the wall. People said, well, that was just the end of the development for this game. Yeah. But, here we are, a few months later, and they're closed down. Wish the guys at Airtight all the best, and hopefully they can find themselves a job sooner rather than later. Okay, so number 2 on our list, and good news for fans of the PlayStation 3 out there. Dan, why don't you tell everyone why they should be excited?
Well, basically, you can get rid of your DualShock 3 and replace it with the 4 now, because although they had it so you could play with it wired in with your PS3, it's now wireless thanks to a firmware update. So I know you like the 4 over the 3.
Yeah.
I did not like the 3 at all. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I was Xbox 360 over the DualShock 3. I know you guys, you battled through, you put up with it, and
you didn't really. I mean, I didn't really know any better. I wasn't really sort of big on the Xbox anyway. But it was only when the PS4 came out and you've got the DualShock 4 and you're just like, wow, this.
And
is
then you go back to when you go back to DualShock 3 after using 4, you can't. It's just, there was nothing wrong with the controller.
Devil's advocate right now.
Go on.
I've never had any serious problems with DualShock 3 personally, but I can understand why some people don't like. I think the 4 is better.
Yeah,
but I've personally never had any issues with the 3.
Yeah, but it's when you've had the 4 and then you go and play something on the 3, it just feels really.
Yeah, well, you say that, but I've just gone back and done Last of Us, and it's no issue for me.
Yeah.
I should have waited another week. Could have used your DualShock 4.
That's it. You could have done.
No,
could have wired it in.
You could have, but it's a small detail. I'm sure Sony fans out there, like you said, they were used to DualShock 3, didn't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst controller I've ever used. Don't get me wrong.
No.
It's just it's hard to go back. It's like going back and watching a DVD after you've watched a Blu-ray.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it, but why would you go back to it when you can have better?
That's true.
Yeah, it's not completely supported yet. I mean, it's got to be linked up as a Bluetooth device currently, rather than so that you don't turn everything on when you try and turn on your PS4 controller.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have support for your motion and rumble features yet. But that's something that's supposed to come in the future. But personally, I don't have my controller set to rumble. and the motion stuff is only when you get like the prompts in certain games.
Can certainly live without it until the time that they do bring it in.
Yeah.
But no, it is good news, and I mean, I'm looking at buying another PS4 or DualShock 4 controller anyway at the moment in the various colours. Get a nice little.
Oh yeah, the blue one's coming to Europe soon. That looks good.
Yeah.
Me first. Okay, number 3 on our list, and Bandai Namco have picked up the distribution of Slightly Mad Studios' crowdfunded game Project Cars. This game's coming out in November this year. Ash, you excited for it? It looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Hell yeah. Really good. I'm always looking for a good car game. There are just, there's been a lot out there that have tried. In my opinion, some have been okay, some have failed, some they haven't got everything that you're looking for. And I suppose it depends on what you're looking for, but Project Cars looks mean. It looks good.
It does.
It looks sexy.
I'm excited about it. Dan, I know you're not quite as big on the racing games, or you're going to tell me that I'm completely wrong here.
No, you're right in that, but it's more for the reason of I haven't really seen one that's been what I've wanted. Again, same like what Ash has said, they seem to like hit and miss on things. I was a big fan of the Need for Speed games when they were back
the
Underground.
the
Underground stuff like that.
Those are good.
And like the early ones, but as it's progressed, that series has sort of fallen off for me.
Yeah, same.
And I haven't found anything yet that I felt replaced that.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's obviously 2 different driving games out there. I'm a huge racing fan. I play pretty much most racing games that come out, provided they're not being slammed by the critics. But I'll pick up most. You've obviously got your simulations, your Gran Turismos, which they've just announced another one of those actually, so that'd be interesting. And then obviously on Xbox side you got Forza, which I've been a big fan of ever since that came back on the original Xbox. And then you've got all like the more arcadey, kind of less serious races. You still got your Need for Speed. I really miss Burnout, to be honest. I mean, Need for Speed is supposed to be the new Burnout, but nothing will beat Burnout Revenge. That game was any game where you could just have a mode of seeing how much damage you can cause,
and that was good. It was amazing.
And it was like, not only is Crash good enough, but here's a nice big boost of NOS that you can use right before you hit that junction.
Yeah.
That game was sick.
And the slow motion and everything. It was good.
But unfortunately, that's never going to happen now.
No, I know.
The studio's gone. But this, back to Project Cars.
It looks good.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I quite like with a car game. I quite like to have options. I like to have a good career mode where you can progress. There's a bit of structure there, as you know from me. I like a bit of structure to a game in career mode. You know what you've got to do to progress.
Yeah.
You earn the benefits. You get the rewards from progressing through the game. But you also want one where you can just have a quick race against a couple of mates, whether it be online or whatever, and you want that as well. So, for me, a racing game's got to have a bit of everything, good choice on the cars, and, not so that you just start off with a rubbish car, and you can have a good car as if you pay 20 quid to buy one.
Don't get me started. That's a whole nother news story we can go into.
I know.
Those things really grind my gears.
So, I think if you've got, a good balance there, if it plays as well as it looks...
Well, it's crowd-funded, so you'd like to hope that when it comes out, it's going to have the support behind it.
Yeah.
From the actual retail side.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean,
purchases.
I'll just leave it with this one point. At the end of this year, we have got Project Cars, which looks great. We've got The Crew. We've got Drive Club, and I'm sure Forza Horizon 2. Those other 3 that I've just mentioned are already far bigger names than Project Cars.
Yeah, I know.
And if this game's only as good as those 3, it just won't sell as well because it hasn't got that brand name. So,
agreed.
Unfortunately, it might get lost. But let's just hope it's a good game. That's all we want at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Watch and wait, basically.
Yep. Look out for this game in November. Okay, number 4 on our list, and it's been announced that a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game.
Sorry, I'm going to sneeze.
Alright.
It's going now.
No. Can I carry on?
Yeah. You're right.
The viewers tired of you. They don't want to hear you sneeze. No one wants to see you sneeze.
It's
good. I'll carry on. Yeah. So as I was saying, number 4 on our list, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game has been announced. It's going to be only coming to the 3DS, and it's going to be tying in with the new Michael Bay movie.
You sound thrilled.
Well, I'm a huge Turtles fan. I mean, I've got friends that are even bigger fan than I am, but I do love Turtles. And everything I've seen of this film looks woeful.
It doesn't look turtlish, does it?
No, and this is a tie-in. I mean, it's 3DS, so it's been targeted for kids. I mean, I know Turtles are a kids thing fundamentally. Anyway, this film looks like it's all being just targeted for like the pre-teen, teen kind of era. And this game is a film-to-game adaptation. And
Never bodes well.
have you ever had a good one of those?
No.
I don't.
There are a lot of them.
There are
a lot.
You do get some like good licensed games. Like we've had some really good like Star Wars games and stuff like that. But like a game actually based fundamentally on
the film
the
itself.
film. The best one I can think of, Spider-Man 2.
Thing is, most of those games they diverge away from the film so much anyway. Because
They do now, yeah.
There's a lot of filler
Spider-Man
that they can't put in the game
Yeah.
because it doesn't involve the character you're playing.
Well, yeah, Spider-Man 2 was still like kind of a game where it would have been if you were Spider-Man the whole time, if you didn't have to watch all like the Peter Parker plot points. But that game was good. But
Peter Parker points.
Peter Parker points, yeah.
So that 10 times worse.
P cubed. But no, I won't be playing this game because I don't have a 3DS.
Nope.
And I would really like to see a good Turtles game one day, but I won't be holding my breath.
You're not going to beat the old Nintendo back in the day.
That game wasn't that good.
It's way before your time.
How old do you think I am? But you are super old, yes, we've already established that.
I know.
Okay, number 5 and final item on our list. It's more of a light-hearted news item where it appears Lindsay Lohan is trying to sue Rockstar for the unauthorized use of her image in the game GTA 5. There was a character, Lacey Jonas or something, that you have to run around Vinewood.
Vinewood, yeah.
Yeah.
And she thinks it looks like her. Does she... You pointed this out to me, Ash.
No, I know. It's just, it's hilarious, really, isn't it? I mean, it's a load of bollocks. Lacey Jonas is, a bloody character in a game. There's no real resemblance as such there. I just think it's...
You can't see it.
No,
I mean...
It's ridiculous.
I think supposedly taken aspects from things. It's like one of the missions is from the hotel where she's staying, or like the...
Yeah, I mean,
interpretation of
the character.
Like
the character doesn't do drink driving. The character doesn't go to rehab 6 times. So I don't see how you can liken it too much. It's a load of rubbish, really.
I think
it made me laugh.
I think it will get thrown out personally, as in the court. It's been submitted, but I don't think the courts will really entertain it.
No, I mean, I think it's just a case of Rockstar have always been what's the word I'm looking for here? They don't really seem to. They'll do what they want. They're not kind of politically correct.
They walk very close to the line.
They do. They're quite edgy. Yeah.
I don't think this person is necessarily having a go at Lindsay Lohan. I think it's just generally having a go at that kind of
the socialite,
the stereotyping,
that sort of
teen
highlight Hollywood.
The
the blonde girl that's maybe got fame and it's gone a bit too much to her head and she shouldn't be quite as famous as she is and she thinks she's above everyone else. That's not necessarily Lindsay Lohan. Everyone will have their own opinion on her.
Yeah.
I think it's just...
Well, put it this way. When you played the game, do you think it was Lohan?
No, I just thought it was some spoiled Hollywood brat, to be honest.
I made zero connection.
Yeah. This is the first... Well, I heard this story...
It was
when
she was
the
game came out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it'll be... fun to see how it turns out.
It certainly cheered up my lunchtime when I read it yesterday. So
yeah, she obviously just needs money. Okay, so now it's that time of the show where we'll discuss our game of the week. And this week we're talking about the Best in Show winner from... Best in Show? That sounds like a dog thing. But anyway, Best of Show from E3 2014. And that is Evolve. Evolve has been developed by the studio Turtle Rock and being published by 2K. It looks like quite an interesting game, Dan. It's a bit different to what we've had before. It's 4 4 humans versus 1 monster is basically the fundamentals of it. What are your first impressions on it? We obviously didn't discuss it a couple of weeks ago because there was just too many games for E3, but
just a few.
It's one best of show. Like, we talked about all those games, and the judges have decided this is looking like the best game.
It brings something different, doesn't it? Because most of these sort of like online games where you have it teams, it's always usually split fairly evenly. I mean, like with the lobbies, you always have the drop in, jump in kind of thing where you might have 1 or 2 people on one team compared to another, but it usually evens itself up. But this time, the one who controls the monster is always going to be on their own against 4.
Yeah, but he's super powerful.
Yes, there is a advantage, whereas, or rather, he gets an advantage over time. When you start off pretty even, like that 1 is about as powerful as 4.
Yeah,
but the longer the game can go on for, that monster then can be
progresses,
be like worth 5 and then like worth 6, and
he evolves.
Yes,
I know. It's amazing.
Shocking.
It's amazing how they come up with the names of these games, isn't it?
Although, it was actually meant to be published by 2K, not 2K, sorry, THQ.
Yeah.
But when THQ went under, 2K picked it up for a cool $10.8 million.
Oh, it's pocket change.
Yeah.
I could have bought 2 of those. But no, I mean, it looks really good. I'm not the biggest kind of shooter fan. Certain games interest me. I'm also not the biggest multiplayer fan because I don't like. I think we've discussed this before. I don't like talking or playing with
people you don't
snotty,
know,
annoying kids online.
Yeah. I'm the same. First-person shooter and multiplayer isn't normally my kind of bag, but the game looks interesting.
I've read that there's meant to be a single player campaign in there somewhere, but there's been no details released, so I don't know whether to take that as what I've read as being credible or not yet.
Yeah, I don't see how it's going to work because obviously it's match play, isn't it? It's 4v1.
Yeah.
I don't see how there could be a single player campaign. You can obviously play on your own because you can be the monster. They've so far given us 2 monsters, Goliath and Kraken. With their own kind of special powers. You got one of the monsters that can like fly, which looks pretty cool, and
each monster's meant to have its own particular strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Same with the classes that you can be on the human side. You've got assault, medic, support, and trapper.
Yeah.
Each of those have 3 characters within that class. As you play the game, you can unlock them. So
feeding off from that, I quite like the idea that as the on the team, shall we say, that is the sort of 4-person against the monster, you've got different skills within that, and I think that's quite nice having those different skill sets. And obviously you're going to favour one more than another, but you've got your different roles there within that team.
Well, that's to say, it's supposed to work towards your preference in play style. So someone who plays a lot more first-person shooters might want to be assault because they're used to running around and shooting at things. But someone who doesn't like that so much will want to take more of a support role and like be the medic
or the hunter, or the person that actually just tracks them.
There's the trapper, isn't there? Who he basically puts up like this, effectively like this force field that basically keeps the monster from being able to just fly or run away, because obviously it's much more powerful.
It confines the area of like the gameplay, and they can actually for when you're up against Kraken, which is the one that can fly, they can actually throw down tethers, so it holds that Kraken down, and like the person who's playing as the monster has to bat them away, kind of thing, and get rid of them before they can fly off.
Yeah, no, the sign that this game really reminds me of. Now, you guys, I don't know if you ever played this, but it's a completely different game. But Conflict Desert Storm. Do you guys ever remember that game?
I played Desert Storm 2.
Yeah, that was the first game where I remember playing where you had to work as a team. You had to play it with your friends. You could play it with 2 friends because you could switch between them. But it was still like, you had your medic, you had your basic assault guy, you had your sniper, and you had your heavy weapons guy. And each person held that kind of specific role, and this is very same here. And those are the kind of multiplayer games that I can get on board more with, because it feels, even though you, like you say, you might not be the best shooter in the world, you still feel like you can contribute to the team
Yeah.
versus like a Call of Duty where you're all trying to just shoot the other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh great, I've got 1 kill, I've made no contribution to this. But in this game,
Yeah.
if you don't work as a team, because
I mean,
the
it's
monster's so powerful, he will just eat you for breakfast.
Yeah. Do you think it's setting a trend though, following off of Titanfall, where basically the main game mode is just that multiplayer?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, there's certain games where it's going to work better.
Yeah.
And it's been designed from the ground up to be this
To work that
multiplayer
way.
experience.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it is the way forward necessarily for games because I don't think it will be.
Shit.
But
Right. Carry on.
I don't think it is necessarily the way forward. I don't think it's necessarily everyone's preference because people still like that, standalone game. They can just sit at home and just pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. But there is definitely a market there for standalone multiplayer online games.
Yeah.
And I guess when it comes down to developing, is that something a game developer's got to decide? Is this a road we want to go down, or is it not? So it's just a risk you take, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like for some people, that's exactly what they want. I mean, for us, we're more of we'd rather have the single player thing to play by ourselves, but have the multiplayer option for when we all want to get online together.
Yeah, like most single player games has always been, that's how I grew up as a kid.
Yeah.
So, I've been, we're all that bit older, so we didn't grow up around like this Xbox Live, this PlayStation Network.
The social media.
Yeah, the whole thing where you could, if you wanted to play with your friends, you had them round.
You went
the
to the
screen.
park.
Well, yeah, you went to the park first, but then you also, you're all around the same screen, and
Yeah.
but
You'd have
why is this making a noise? I turned it off. Sorry, boys.
You'd have right.
Professionalism.
You'd have
I'm not professional at all.
You'd have I mean, back in the day, you'd have a split screen, and you'd have 2 controllers plugged in, and that's. But yeah, I think moving forward where we are today, it's good if you can have the sort of single player and you can have the online multiplayer. But one is one, and you've got the other, and then it's separate. When you start, you get some that are sort of hybrid games where you've got the online within the single player sort of story mode as well, or you just have multiplayer.
I think at the end of the day, a game, as long as the game's fun, to me, that's the fundamental. Whether it's fun on my own, I've always had fun playing by myself.
Easy.
Well, and I've also had fun playing games with other people.
Others.
But that, as long as it's built well, as long as it doesn't feel like it's a single player game but you're just all playing together, which I don't think this is going to. I'm really interested to see. We haven't seen all the monsters yet. We haven't seen all the characters.
One more to be.
One more to be revealed. Which I would be very surprised if we see it. I mean, this game's coming out 21st of October. That's 3 months
3
away.
months.
Is that right? Yeah.
Bit.
So it's not that long. People have, the fact that it's won this award from E3. Obviously, it's getting a lot of media attention. A lot of people seem to know what this game is now. They seem to be excited for it. And if I was a game studio, I wouldn't want to show all my cards.
No.
You want to keep some surprises.
That's the kind of thing that if you are going to release it, you release it right before you're releasing the game.
Yeah, on the day maybe, sort of thing. Yeah, you don't want everyone going, well, we already know everything now. Is that it? You want people going, oh, what else are we going to get?
Yeah.
And that factor where when you jump in online and for the first time you're up against this monster that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's also an incentive to actually play the game, because if you keep that third monster a mystery and you can't find out what it is until you get to the stage where you can actually unlock it, it's going to be a while before people put the spoiler out on the web that it's what it is.
The spoiler on the internet, it'll be about 20 minutes.
Well, what I mean is like people have to
get
get there to like put out that spoiler as opposed
to... Yeah, and another thing, did any of you guys ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
No.
But because that game was one of the best games I ever played on PlayStation 2, and this game is just giving me that kind of those memories of that game where this game was slightly different, where you were on your own having to take down the monster. So at least this time it's got your friends, but the sense of accomplishment, even as whether it's individual or team, you're going to feel from taking down that monster, I think is just going to be the real draw an addiction to this game because
Reward
you always feel more rewarded when you. It's like saying when you play a game on hard, and you know it's hard. Like, did you enjoy Uncharted more when you played it on normal or when you played it on crushing? What was your more of an achievement?
Oh,
what did you feel? You felt better when you beat something that you felt you shouldn't have beaten.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the same with Evolve. When we jump in and play this game and we take down the monster, it's going to be like, yeah. Take that, monster.
Oh, you sound so mean.
Well, I'm always one for the...
Ooh, take that, monster.
I'm always one for the pep talks.
You are. You don't play online with him. That's how he talks online. Ooh, take that, monster.
I'm normally a lot more angry in a headset.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make people not think that I'm a game major.
Okay, yeah.
But there'll be. I'm trying to
expletives everywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep this show more so that everyone can watch.
Family friendly.
Yeah, keep all the swear words away. But no, bottom line is we can't talk too much about the game until we actually get to play it.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot more uncertainty about the game, and there's but visually it looks good, and I think even for me, a first person shooter game, the fact that it's got that ability to play online and with friends is something I'll probably pick up. And
yeah, it's a shame it's coming out in this October time, Dan. That's where
so many other games.
So many games. Too many games. Well, I say too many. Is there such a thing as too many? Yes and no.
No, not too many games. Just not enough free time.
Yeah. No, I'm glad I'm not a parent because kids are going to want a lot of games this Christmas, and there's going to be a lot of games available.
Yeah.
But this is definitely one that has moved to the top of my my watch list, as it were. I'm very interested to play it and to kill that monster. Okay, so that's it for this week on the Game of the Week show. If you've enjoyed what we've talked about, then please do like and subscribe. If you want to make any comments about what's being discussed this week or any upcoming news stories that you want us to discuss in future episodes, please let us know in the comments down below. For now, Ashley, Dan,
cheers, Matt.
Thank you for coming out. And we will see you all next Monday.
You're going to leave that hand in the phrase. Yeah, okay, yeah.